What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving to all your friends and family. I hope you guys are all doing well. And today we have a pretty fun session for you guys. We're playing an action-packed 2-3 at my favorite home game in the Inland Empire. This game has a few basic rules, and those are you can straddle from anywhere for any amount, and that there's optional bomb pots every dealer change with a variety of games such as Pineapple, Crazy Pineapple, Double Wood PLO, to name a few. And unfortunately, I didn't get any good bomb pot footage for you guys today. So I'll have to get better bomb pot footage for you guys next time, just to show you guys how crazy these hands are. Now that you're aware of these basic rules, let's dive right into the action. We sit down with $300 ready to battle it out in 2-3. Very early on, the first hand we get involved in, we have Ace 10 of diamonds and under the gun 1. We open it up to $15. Under the gun 3 bets us to $45. The low jack cold calls and the hijack cold calls as well. With this amazing of a price, $30 to win $180. You know we're in there to gamble it up. Hoping for some diamonds in this bloated multi-way pot. The flop comes King 8-6, 2 spades. Not a single diamond. Wow, what a whiff. I check. The pre-flop 3-better surprisingly checks this king high board, and now the low jack jams it all in for $155. The hijack folds. With nothing going for us on this board, we fold as well. And the under the gun 3 player flashes us pocket queens and folds them face up. The low jack, who jammed all in, shows pocket kings for top set. I guess he doesn't like slow playing. The under the gun 3 player, Matt, dodged a huge bullet because this hand could have easily gone all in pre-flop. The action is popping here at this home game with a very early 4-way 3-bet pot to start off the action. So we're casually eating some Mediterranean food that our buddy Tyler made for us. It tastes great, by the way, Tyler. We'll see Tyler in some later hands. But after that first hand, we finally pick up a playable hand, and it just happens to be the best one. Pocket aces in the hijack. There's a double straddle of $12 on the button. Yes, we're playing 1, 3, 6, and 12 this hand. The big blind calls, under the gun 2 calls, and now I raise it up to $45. The button straddle folds, the big blind jams all in for $50, and the under the gun 2 player now calls the 50. I would love to raise and get it all in pre-flop, but I can't raise because the big blind only raised $5 on top. Not a substantial enough amount to allow another raise, so I just call the extra $5. Heads up on the side, the flop comes Queen 8-3, 2 spades. The under the gun 2 player checks to me in flow. I bet out for $90 for value, planning to jam the rest of my stack in on the turn, and he makes the call. The turn is the 6 of diamonds, putting 2 flush draws out. If I had the best hand on the flop, I should have the best hand now, so we're sticking to the plan. I go all in for about $130 left behind, and he snap calls. The snap call gets me a little worried, and when the river comes to 2 of hearts, I announce 1 pair and show my aces, and they both muck, and we win. Let's go. Our aces hold for once. Oh yeah, send it. Feels good to scoop in your first pot of the night. A few hands later, we pick up pocket aces again. Just kidding. That's fake aces. We have pocket 4s and under the gun 1. I open limp. I don't do this very often, but I do mix it in every now and then. Under the gun 3 limps, the small blind calls, and now the big blind raises to $18. $18 sounds like a fair price to see a flop because we all call. 4 ways to the flop comes Jack 10-4, 2 hearts. Cha-ching! We flop bottom set. Tyler in the big blind c-bets to $20. Since this is a very connected board, I'm going to fast play this hand, so I re-raise to $65. There's a bunch of hands that Tyler could have that would continue, such as Ace-Jack, Jack-10, overpairs, Ace-X of hearts, any flush draw really, straight draws like King-Queen, 9-8, Queen-9, all that good stuff. It seems like Tyler does have a hand because when it folds back to him, he continues with the call. Heads up now, the turn is the Ace of hearts completing the flush draw, and King-Queen for Broadway. Pretty disgusting card overall, to be honest. A lot of draws got there, but at least I know he doesn't have any Ace-X of hearts for the nuts. So when he checks, I debate over betting or checking, and I decide that a check for pot control is better, taking the more cautious route. Off to the river, hoping for the board to pair. The river comes the 4 of hearts. Double cha-ching, we bink quads. No wonder this is Rampage's favorite hand. And even better, Tyler now bets out into us. It's super small for $20 though. It seems like a blocker bet. Or he could be trying to milk us, which I hope he is, with ace king or king jack or queen jack type hand with a king of hearts that's trying to get thin value. So with the stone cold nuts, we're obviously raising, but how big should we go? We can go for a min click that gets frustration called by a 2-pair holding, and maybe even get raised over the top, or a medium size like $80 targeting some medium flushes, or huge like $200 trying to get paid the max by a high flush or any full house. I choose to go for the max. My name is Max after all, so better bet huge for $200 with the stone cold Nutter Butters. Praying for a call now. He sighs and folds his jack face up and we don't get paid. However, we do show our hand and we do receive a $50 bonus for hitting quads from the host. A pretty cool bonus for coming to this home game on top of the free food and drinks. Shout out to Tyler for the delicious food today and the donation, allowing me to get the quads bonus.
What I say? Tell them to bring me my money.
Coming off of quads, this next hand, we have king 9 of spades on the button. Under the gun 2, under the gun 3, and the cutoff limp to me. With the power of the button and a suited king, we bump it up to $25. Both the blinds fold, the under the gun 2 limper calls, under the gun 3 folds, and the cutoff calls. 3 ways, the flop comes 9-4-3 rainbow. When it checks to me, with top pair, we c-bet $25. The under the gun 2 player goes all in for $22, but someone gives him an extra $3 to make it an even 25. How kind of them. The cutoff calls as well, and now it's heads up on the side with the turn bringing in the queen of clubs. When the cutoff checks, I choose to pot control and check back. I could go for value targeting a worse 9, but I choose to check instead. The river is a 10 of hearts. When he checks, I'm happy to take it to showdown with third pair, and we both say 9. I show my king 9 beating the cutoffs 9-8, but the under the gun 2 player who went all in has pocket 3s for bottom set. I guess we could have gotten more value on the turn for the side pot to mitigate some of my losses from this hand, but oh well. On to the next one. 10 minutes later, we pick up pocket jacks in the hijack. There's a $6 straddle on the button. There's 2 limps in front of me, so I raise it up to $25. The cutoff calls to 25. The button straddle doesn't think my $25 is enough, so he 3-bets to $75. He could definitely be squeezing as the button straddle, trying to take down the dead money. However, this is the same player who 3-bet with pocket queens in the first hand, so he could also be strong in this spot. When it folds to me, I have a decision. He has about $150 left. I think between 4-bet jamming and going to a run out, or just calling and navigating a flop. There's no right way to play jacks, right? So I weigh my options and decide if it's a clean flop without an ace, king, or queen, then I'm going to put the rest of the money in. And if there's an ace or a king, then I can fold easily, saving $150. This logic sounds pretty sound to me, so I choose to take the lower variance route and just call to see a flop out of position. Heads up to the flop comes 8-5 deuce, 2 clubs. Great flop for jacks. I think about donk jamming or checking, and in this spot I would normally go for a check, and if I jam and get called, then I'm probably behind against a higher overpair. It's better to keep his bluffs in. Therefore, I check, giving him some rope to bluff with his potential ace king or ace queen type holdings. He checks back, and now I'm pretty confident we have the best hand. Keep it low, dealer. The turn is the 9 of diamonds, another safe card. With my overpair, I can either choose to bet small to get value from overcards, or I can just play for all of it. In the moment, I chose to go all in for $150, and when he doesn't snap call, I know he has ace king. He says, "Are you trying to get me off a chop?" And then he folds his ace king offsuit. I told him I had him, and we take down another pot. Who said there's no right way to play jacks? In this next hand, we pick up ace 3 of clubs in the small blind. There's 3 limps to me, all in under the gun 1, 2, and 3. I raise it up to $33, sizing up in the small blind. Let's narrow down the field. To my surprise though, under the gun 1, 2, and 3 all call. 4 ways to the flop comes queen, queen, 3, 2 hearts. I regret raising so large because now I'm in a bloated pot out of position. I check multi-way with bottom pair. Under the gun 1 checks, and now under the gun 2 bets out for $20, and only I make the call. Heads up to the turn is the 4 of hearts, completing the front door flush. My bottom pair seems pretty worthless now. If he bets, I'm folding for sure. I check, and he luckily checks back. The river is the bink 3 of diamonds, and now our tiny 3 just became a full house. Now I have a decision whether to check call or just go for value. I think if he had trip queens, he would have bet the turn for protection against a flush draw, because if I had flopped a flush draw as the pre-flop raiser, I most likely would have c-bet. So I think my full house is most likely good. If he raises me, I'll have to fold because he'll most likely have a bigger full house with the queen. So I think of a sizing and I bet out for $60. He snap calls. I show my ace 3 and he mucks. Nice to get max value and dragging a pot with my mighty 3. Let's go. We move over to the actual 2-3 table because the 5-5 is starting up. So little change of scenery for you guys. So far, we haven't been able to pick up a hand at the new table until we look down at ace 10 offsuit with under the gun 2. Under the gun 1 limps. I raised to $20, and now the low jack jams all in for $57. He folds back to me. I make the call for 37 more, hoping to be flipping against a low pocket pair. I ask him if he has a pair. He says he does, so I ask if it's high, and he says no. That sounds like a nice flip to me. He shows his hand, and off to the races against pocket 5s. The flop comes 10-6-4, 2 diamonds. We take the lead. Let's hold, baby. The turn is the 7 of diamonds. Oh, what a sweat. And the river is the 4 of spades. Yes, we win a flip and the drought has ended since we moved to this new table. Very next deal, we pick up queen 10 of clubs and under the gun 1. We open things up to $15. It goes 5 ways to a flop of 10-7-5, 2 hearts and 1 spade. When it checks to me, I have top pair, pretty decent kicker. So I c-bet $35 on this draw-heavy board, and only Juan calls me on the button. The turn is the 9 of clubs, connecting the board even more. With top pair, I size up to $70, charging any flush draws. Straight draws like 9-8, Jack-8, or pair plus straight draws like Jack-10, 10-8, 8-7, 6-5, all that good stuff. So when I fire out this bet, he looks like he wants to make the call, but ends up folding. I flash him my 10 to show him that we're not bluffing him, and he said he was tanking with the 7. Looks like somebody wanted to be a hero. In this next hand, we have queen jack of diamonds in the small blind. There's 5 limps to me. With such an attractive holding like queen jack suited, we're bumping things up to $36. Only Tyler calls, heads up to the flop, comes king 6 deuce, 2 diamonds. Pretty nice flop with a flush draw and backdoor straight draw. Even better, it's a king high flop, which is going to favor my range over his. Therefore, I c-bet $35, representing that I have a king or better. Tyler says for some reason, I want to give you money, and makes the call. How nice of him. But that's not what I want to hear right now since I'm semi-bluffing. The turn is the 7 of spades. No help to us. We're not slowing down, and we put the pedal to the metal. Fire again, sizing up to $80. Please fold, I say on my head. And it looks like he can read my mind because he calls pretty fast. Hoping to get some help. The river is red, but it's the 6 of hearts. Oh boy. All we have is queen high. He has about $100 behind. Should we go for our 3rd barrel and continue with our story, or just check waving the white flag? Screw it. We already came this far. We full send it. We go all in for his last $100. And he shows us ace 3 of diamonds and tosses them in the muck. Phew. Nice to get one through. We toss him our cards to show him what we had, and let's play the footage to view his reaction.
But at least you had, huh? Had something? Nothing?
Queen high.
Thank you. There's a king, right? Oh, no.
There's a king. Nice friendly game here in Riverside. It's always a good time with Tyler. Next, we pick up pocket 7s on the button. I kid you not, literally every single player in front of me limps to me. With the pair and all this dead money out there, we're bumping things up. We raise it up to $35. We probably could have gone bigger to 45, but 35 is good enough to narrow down the field. Juan and under the gun 3 calls, and the cutoff comes along as well. 3 ways to the flop comes ace, ace, 6, rainbow. Both players check to me, and now I see bet $30, and they both fold. Nice to take it down uncontested. In this next hand, we pick up King 9 of Hearts and Unligan 2. We open it up to $15. The low jack, hijack, small blind, and the big blind call. It goes 5 ways to a flop of King 8-7, 2 spades. When it checks to me, I see bet $35 with top pair on a draw heavy board. One by one, it folds all the way to Tyler in the big blind, and I tell him to muck it. He listens and folds, and I throw out my cards, but I say only for him to see, because I bluffed him in the last one, showing him that I do usually have the goods. This is only for you, Tyler, okay? A couple orbits pass until we pick up Queen 10 offsuit and Under the Gun 3. Under the Gun 1 limps, you raise it up to $15. Low jack, button, big blind, and Under the Gun 1 call. 5 ways to the flop comes 8-7 deuce, 2 spades. When action checks to me, with nothing going for me on this flop, I'm happy to check it back, and action checks through. The turn is the Queen of Spades, completing the flush draw, but it also gives us top pair. When it checks to me, I think I could put out a small $20 value bet for protection against 1 spade holdings and the button and big blind call. 3 ways now. The river is the 5 of Hearts. Pretty clean river. The only thing that got there was 7-5 for 2 pair, 6-4 for a straight, or 6-9 for open-ended. So when it checks to me, I think if they had a straight or 2 pair, they would have bet themselves. So I think we can bet one more time for value on this relatively clean river. I choose to go for a small sizing, trying to target 1 pair, and they both fold and we take it down. In this next hand, we pick up pocket 9s in the small blind. It folds to Tyler in the cutoff. He opens to $25. A pretty large raise in an unopened pot for 2-3. And when the button calls, I kind of have a bad feeling about this hand. I would normally 3-bet this hand, especially in the small blind, because I have to be out of position for the rest of the hand. But my spider senses were tingling that Tyler had a pretty strong hand, and if I 3-bet, you'd probably 4-bet jam with his short stack of $150, and I would be flipping at best. Therefore, I choose to make an unorthodox call in the small blind with a pretty strong starting hand. The big blind folds, and now it's 3 ways out of position to a flop of Queen 7-6 rainbow. A semi-decent flop for pocket 9s. Being out of position, I check, and action surprisingly checks through. I feel pretty good about my hand until the turn brings in the jack of diamonds, bringing in a backdoor flush draw, and another overcard to my pair, and this jack is a card that connects well with both my opponent's ranges, so I have no choice but to check once again. Now Tyler bets out for $45. The button calls pretty quickly to his large bet, and that's my cue to get out of there. I fold. We witness the rest of the hand. The river brings in the 10 of hearts, breaking out the backdoor flush draw, and ace king gets there for the nuts. Tyler now jams for his remaining $100, and the button tank calls, and Tyler shows ace king offsuit for the nuts. Yep, that's what I thought. Good thing I didn't play aggressively pre-flop as I normally would, or else I would have doubled up Tyler. It's getting later in the night, and the table's only 7-handed, and we finally pick up a premium. We are blessed with pocket aces once again, but in the small blind this time. There's 2 limps to me. With the best hand in poker, we aren't playing for a few bucks. We raise it up to $25, and the big blind, hijack, and cutoff call. 4 ways to the flop comes Queen 9 deuce rainbow. I see bet $35, a standard 1/3 pot size bet. To get value from any Queen 9 straight draw like Jack 10, 10-8, King Jack, or even pocket 10s or 8s that didn't decide to 3-bet pre-flop. So there's a lot to get value from, and unfortunately, one by one, they all fold, and we take down this $100 pot. It's unfortunate to not get any more value, but at least we didn't get cracked. Ever since we moved to this table, we've been running kind of cold. I haven't been able to get into too many interesting hands so far, and eventually we don't pick up anything playable for the next 15 minutes, and we rack it up and book the win. Alright, that'll do it for this vlog, guys, with aces being our first hand that we won and our last. So ran pretty well today. We binked quads on Tyler. We even got a $50 bonus for doing it, so that's always nice. Overall, pretty smooth session, ran well. Nice to book a win. We were in for $300, out for $1,065 for a profit of $765. So yeah, nice change to not lose in the past 2 vlogs. So yeah, pretty nice change of pace. and let's keep it going. So today's Thanksgiving, I just want to thank all you guys for all the love and support that you guys have shown in my early poker vlogging journey. I also would like to say a huge shout out to my family, friends, and my girlfriend Mona for always supporting me throughout this journey. And I hope you guys enjoy feasting on whatever you guys are eating. My dad's making some smoked prime rib and bacon wrapped turkey, so that'll be delicious later. Thanks, Dad. As always, if you like this poker content, hit the like and subscribe button down below and even leave a comment. It'll help spread the channel to a bunch of new people and help grow the channel a ton. So I'd really appreciate if you guys would do that. It's free, so thank you. So I hope to see you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys enjoy the holidays. Peace.